Welcome back to our channel. Everyone, today is a beautiful Tuesday, and we find our minds completely consumed by the swirling, emotional chaos currently taking over Genoa City. There is just so much heavy, layered drama unfolding right now, and we honestly cannot stop thinking about the tragic paths these characters are walking down. Let us just take a deep breath, pause for a moment, and dive right into the tangled web of secrets, manipulation, and heartbreak that is brewing just beneath the surface. When we really sit down and process the revelations surrounding this upcoming Tuesday, it is just so wild to comprehend what Patty Williams is actually doing with Matt Clark. I mean, when you stop and deeply ponder the psychological dynamic between these two, it truly sends shivers down your spine. Matt, this historically terrifying monster who has haunted the Newman family and caused so much profound trauma for years, is now sitting there with a completely blank slate. His amnesia has wiped away his memories, leaving him entirely vulnerable, and who finds him? Patty. It is almost like a dark, twisted fairy tale where the villain loses his memory only to be found by someone whose grip on reality is even more unpredictable. You can just feel the eerie, unsettling tension in the air when they share a scene. It is genuinely heartbreaking, in a very bizarre and twisted way, to watch Patty realize just how vulnerable Matt is right now. She looks at him, and she does not see a broken person who needs medical help or genuine chance at redemption. No, she sees the absolute perfect puppet. It makes our hearts ache a little to think about how deeply damaged Patty must be to immediately resort to this level of profound manipulation. Instead of helping him remember the truth of his dark past, the horrible things he has done, the innocent people he has hurt, she is actively feeding him a completely false narrative. She is sitting there, whispering these toxic, fabricated lies into his ear, painting the entire Newman family as these evil, ruthless enemies who have viciously wronged him. You have to wonder what goes through Patty's mind as she weaves this intricate web of deceit. She is essentially playing God with a dangerous man's fragile psyche. She is taking Matt's empty canvas and painting a masterpiece of pure hatred, aiming him directly at the Newmans, and what is her ultimate endgame here? It is just so profoundly sad because it always comes back to Jack Abbott, doesn't it? The idea that Patty is pushing Matt into this dangerous new plan, orchestrating what looks to be a massive, high-stakes heist at Newman Enterprises, just so she can use the resulting corporate chaos to get closer to Jack. It is almost Shakespearean in its sheer, unavoidable tragedy. She is weaponizing a man with no memories to fight a war he does not understand, all for a man who will never love her the way she so desperately wants. And while Patty is orchestrating this terrifying symphony of manipulation, our thoughts inevitably drift over to Phyllis Summers. Oh, Phyllis. You really have to feel a deep sense of pity for her, even when she is acting as her own worst enemy. She is so incredibly desperate right now, backed into a terrifying corner with a very real threat of federal prison hanging heavily over her head. She really, truly thought she had found the ultimate bargaining chip when she stumbled upon Matt Clark. You can almost feel her frantic, racing heartbeat as she formulated this grand, sweeping plan, hoping beyond hope to hand Matt over to Nick Newman in exchange for dropping those heavy corporate espionage charges. She wanted to secure her freedom and guarantee the future of Summers' conglomerate all in one swift, brilliant move. But life in Genoa City is never that simple, is it? It is almost painful to watch Phyllis scramble, clinging to this fragile, fading hope that she can just outsmart the justice system one more time. Because the reality is crashing down on her. She is simply not going to get the deal she so desperately wants. She completely underestimated the righteous, unyielding fury of Christine Blair Romalotti. When you think about the dark, painful history between Christine and Phyllis, it is just decades of pure, unadulterated venom. The bad blood runs so incredibly deep that you can practically feel the heat radiating off the screen when their names are even mentioned in the same breath. Christine is absolutely furious. And honestly, looking at it from her perspective, can you really blame her? Christine sees Phyllis trying to skirt the law yet again, trying to use a human being, even a terrible, destructive one like Matt Clark, as a convenient get-out-of-jail-free card. Christine is a woman of the law, driven by this rigid, almost inflexible sense of justice. And seeing Phyllis try to manipulate the legal system just pushes her right over the edge. You just know, deep down in your soul, that Christine is not going to budge a single inch on these charges. She wants Phyllis to pay for her crimes, and she is going to make absolutely sure of it. The impending clash between these two fierce rivals is going to be explosive. They are on a collision course, and every single word they spit at each other is going to be laced with years of unresolved bitterness and pain. And the tragic, almost cruel irony of it all is that Phyllis cannot even keep her end of this impossible bargain anyway, because she has lost contact with Matt. He just vanished, slipping right through her desperate fingers and into Patty's waiting arms. We can only imagine the sheer, suffocating panic Phyllis must have felt when she realized her only leverage was completely gone. It is a terrifying feeling of total freefall, reaching out for a lifeline and grasping nothing but empty air. She is entirely exposed now, with no Matt to trade, no deal to make, and Victor Newman's fabricated evidence closing in around her like a suffocating vice. It is a devastating, lonely position to be in. And it makes you wonder if this is finally the moment where the great Phyllis Summers actually breaks under the pressure. Amidst all this corporate and legal warfare, our thoughts keep drifting to Daniel Romalotti Jr., and our hearts just break for him, poor Daniel. He is carrying such a heavy, agonizing emotional burden right now. It is not just about his mother's impending arrest. It is this gnawing, terrifying anxiety about his father. Danny Romalotti has been missing for a while now, and that kind of profound silence, it is absolutely deafening. You can feel Daniel's heart breaking a little more every single day that goes by without a word from Danny. The uncertainty is like a slow-acting poison, eating away at his peace of mind. Where is he? Is he hurt? Is he ever coming back? It is a nightmare scenario for any son to endure. In his deep desperation and grief, Daniel turns to Christine. It is such a complex, beautifully layered dynamic between them. They share this deep, nostalgic history, these lingering feelings of past love and mutual respect. And now they are bonded by this shared, terrifying worrying for Danny. You can picture them exchanging experiences, sharing their fears, trying to find some tiny shred of comfort in each other's presence. There is a quiet, tragic vulnerability in those moments. To people who care deeply about a missing man, trying desperately to hold it together, but that fragile, temporary peace is so easily shattered by the reality of the world around them, because Daniel is caught directly in the middle of this toxic, escalating war. He is on this noble mediation mission, trying so hard to bridge the massive gap between Christine and his mother, hoping to find some sort of peaceful resolution. But when he actually hears the gritty, horrifying details, when he learns that his mother was secretly hoarding Matt Clark, trying to use him to skirt the law, it is just too much to bear. You can feel the absolute outrage bubbling up inside his chest. His anger might even match Christine's righteous fury. It is that devastating, world-altering moment when a child looks at their parents' actions and realizes, with a sinking heart, that they simply cannot defend them anymore. The disappointment Daniel must feel, it is a heavy, crushing weight that just adds to his already overflowing plate of grief. He is terrified for his missing father, furious at his manipulative mother, and deeply conflicted about his connection to the woman trying to lock his mother away. It is an impossible emotional tightrope for him to walk. You just want to reach through the screen and give him a moment of peace, but in Genoa City, peace is the rarest commodity of all. The emotional toll this takes on a person is unimaginable, and we can only watch in sorrow as Daniel tries to navigate this suffocating storm. And bringing our thoughts back full circle to Patty and Matt, it is a genuinely terrifying realization that Patty is going to be the one helping Matt deal with his enemies moving forward. Matt was a lethal, destructive force on his own, but Matt being guided by Patty's twisted, delusional logic. That is a recipe for absolute, unmitigated disaster. Patty does not just want to defeat the Newmans. She wants to orchestrate this grand, chaotic symphony of destruction to serve her own romantic delusions. She is pointing Matt like a loaded weapon at the people she believes have wronged her, filling his empty, amnesiac mind with her own toxic grievances and fake histories. It is a deeply unsettling alliance, a dark partnership forged in madness and memory loss. And who is standing right in the crosshairs of this impending disaster? The Newman family, and specifically Nick, who is already battling his own agonizing demons. It is a tragic convergence of storylines that leaves you feeling breathless. As we sit here and process all of this, it just feels like everyone in Genoa City is walking on a razor's edge. The emotional stakes have never been higher, the manipulations have never been deeper, and the heartbreak has never felt so profoundly real. We are just watching these beloved characters march toward their inevitable breaking points. And honestly, it is both utterly captivating and completely heartbreaking to witness.